we haven't got much time, so I just want to tell you a bit about what we do in Leeds at Zero Waste Leeds, our broader work around recycling, and then particularly looking at our work on glass that we're about to start working with the glass industry in Leeds. So in basically what we're doing at Zero Waste Leeds is looking to build a movement to help Leeds to become a zero waste city by 2030. So we're a social enterprise and not-for-profit business, and what we're interested in is working with a broad range of people to help people to waste less in their daily lives. And very quickly, just to give you a bit of context about the kind of work that we do, we've been involved in a project called Leeds by Example, which worked with people from across the waste industry, and that was particularly about on-the-go recycling, so making it as easy as possible for people to recycle plastic bottles, drinks cans, that kind of thing, whilst they're out and about. And you'll see immediately it was a very kind of visual campaign, you know, and we tried to engage people. And I think that's been a real kind of theme of the discussion this afternoon in terms of finding ways to engage people. And you can see the kind of nice, colourful kind of bins to try to get the kind of different waste streams on the streets of Leeds. And then we also try to have kind of social impacts in our work as well. So we've done a lot of work on clothing and textiles. We've done a piece of work at making it easier for people to reuse and pass on school uniform. And we've also done quite a bit of work on clothing and fashion, because Leeds is a city which has been at the heart of the kind of clothing and textile kind of industry, and we wanted to kind of look back at that history to then think about what might come in the future. And again, I think that's a key theme here about kind of place-based campaigns. And I won't go into too much detail on this because we're short on time, but I think some of the issues that I've talked about here kind of have come up in the discussion already, and I think I'd probably kind of say in particular about the kind of positive messages and about the importance of finding ways to engage citizens in what we're doing, because I think they are obviously a key part of whatever we're trying to do in terms of increasing recycling. So how does that bring us to glass? Well, basically last year we did a piece of work with the council in the early weeks of the COVID-19 epidemic about helping people to reduce waste at home. And obviously one of the kind of key waste streams that we all kind of used a lot more was glass. We were consuming a lot more at home, and we did a story on local news working with different people from the glass industry and the council to basically acknowledge and celebrate that during last year there was a big increase in glass recycling in the city. And I mean, just to give you kind of context in terms of how we recycle glass in Leeds, again, it's been quite interesting to hear the different kind of practices elsewhere. Leeds is a city of about 750,000 people, and we recycle our glass at around 400 glass banks across the city. So although we've got other kind of household collections for glass, we take it to glass banks. And typically we recycle about 10,000 tonnes, but the estimate from the council is around 15,000 tonnes actually gets thrown away in people's household bins. So there's a lot that we could still recycle. But as I say, the big kind of positive from last year was a 37% increase in the amount of glass that people recycled at their glass banks. And that's exactly why we wanted to see how can we build on that success last year to make sure that that continues. So basically we're working with various stakeholders in the glass industry, so British Glass, Adar Glass and Allied Glass, and also URM, who collect the glass in Leeds. And we're creating a 3-month social media campaign. And I think, again, communications has been a key thing that we've discussed in our, in the discussions this afternoon. But we want to make it a positive campaign to celebrate what we've done last year, and then encourage people to continue to recycle their glass. We also want to make it easier for people, because again, it's been interesting to hear the kind of different perspectives on glass banks. Often it's not seen as a positive here, and people sometimes say, I don't know where my glass bank is. We want to make that easier with a new map, and also just communicate better with people so that they know where their glass banks are. And then we want to tell the really good glass recycling and circular economy story that all of us here kind of know, but maybe citizens don't know as well. And we want to try to find engaging ways to tell that story. And again, learning from our textile work, tell that as a local story. Yorkshire is a part of the world where there's lots of glass has been made. Traditionally, we want to tell a story of glass made in Yorkshire, consumed here, recycled here, and then back to kind of new products. And then the other aspect of the campaign is to try to increase the visual appeal of some of the glass banks. Some of them look very good at the moment, others, maybe like the two in the photo here, not so good. And we want to see if we can work with some local community groups and young people and local artists to basically improve the banks, make them look more beautiful, and then hopefully as an asset to their community, more people may notice them and more people may recycle at the glass bank. So I suppose, just keen to leave you with 3 questions. And again, I think it's been really interesting to see about a lot of these themes have already come up in the discussion, really. I think there's something about how can we kind of collaborate across sectors to basically engage people more so they keep recycling their glass. And again, I think sometimes we can forget citizens, do you know what I mean? And I think it's really important to think, how do we engage with local citizens? And obviously us as a local kind of social enterprise that's got strong community roots, we recognise we've got a lot to offer there. I think telling better stories, I think, is good as well. There's a really good glass story to tell, but sometimes we need to kind of improve how we tell those stories about recycling our glass. And then I think, again, this theme has come up already about, we all live in a place, in a place which actually, sometimes will have different approaches to glass recycling, but also different histories and relationships and things like that. And we're really keen to encourage people to think, how do you build upon some of that to develop really good, effective campaigns, which ultimately get more people recycling their glass, have more recycled glass for the industry, and then have a big kind of environmental impact overall. So I'm conscious that's a very quick kind of overview of our work, but obviously just search for Zero Waste Leeds online and you'll find out a lot more about what we're doing. Okay, thank you.